So here is your grid for the second Junior Rotax race here at Muelsen. Nikita Genza in the 226 will have Valentin Klus alongside in the 201 on the front row. Magnus Pedersen in the 247 will have Kian Agasade in the 262 alongside. Morris Schmeis in the 210 and the 252 of Mikkel Pedersen round out the top three rows. Nevio Fischer in the 236 will have Rafael Genhofer in the 233 alongside, with Janis Stiak in the 238 and Rafael Balza in the 217 completing the top 10. Luis Jacobs in the 228, Leon Arndt in the 208, Din Hurich in the 219, Richard Thomas in the 205, Robin Hillebrand in the 241 and Farin Mega in the 245 will complete the 16 driver strong grid. They now go on to the formation lap here. So it will be down to Nikita Genza and Valentin Klus to control the pace. Red lights on the gantry, 11 minutes set on the timer. And when that counts down to 0, we will have one more additional lap. So the drivers at the front of the field start slowing down in order for the rest of the grid to catch up. So the top 10, Nikita Genza, Valentin Klus, Magnus Pedersen, Kian Agasade, Morris Schmeis, Mikkel Pedersen, Nevio Fischer, Rafael Genhofer, Janis Stiak and Rafael Balza. We go round the final corner. Into the tram lines. Revs rise. Full start. First one of the meeting. Race director not happy with that one. So another formation lap it is. So once again, we go under full course yellow conditions. So it is just about resetting and getting refocused, making sure that you react accordingly in the start phase once they start entering the tram lines. So 11 minutes of competition for the second of 3 races today for Junior Rotax. Let's see if the second time is a lot cleaner than the first, because if we do get the lights going out, we will be racing for 11 minutes. Drivers now filtering their way through the final corner at the 1,315 meter circuit here at Muelsen. Into the tram lines for the second time we go. Revs rise, lights are out, we are off and away, and it's 3 abreast for second position, heading into turn 2 for the first time. Looks like Valentin Klus trying to get up the inside. Oh, there's been a couple of cars spinning into each other. I think one of them might have been, I think that's Nikita Genza and Kian Agasade that have had a contact, and it is. They've dropped all the way down to the bottom of the field, and Farin Mega just had a bit of a moment too. And along with that, it's definitely not getting any easier out there as well, because there's more karts going off of turn number 5. Now at the moment, looks like Valentin Klus, I think, has got the lead as they now go over to the back part of the circuit for the first time. The drivers have nigh on been tripping all over each other since turn number 2 when we went lights out. As, again, they're wrestling with the karts. It's not easy out there in these wet weather conditions. Track is still pretty greasy. I think that it was I think Morris Schmeitz might be a little bit further up the order, might even be up into second position before the end of the first lap. Leaders coming round turn, the final corner. And at the moment, that is Magnus Pedersen that's leading. And it's Morris Schmeitz, Mikkel Pedersen, Valentin Klus, Nevio Fischer up to 5th, ahead of Raphael Renhofer. Raphael Balzer now up into 7th place. Lewis Jacobs, Din Jurich, and Farin Mega now. Oh, and we've had another tussle. Yellow flags again off of turn number 2. And I think that might have been Nikita Genza in the walls again. The 226 not having a great race whatsoever. And has been closed in on by Kian Agasade. As through into the penultimate chicane on the circuit, it looks like Mikkel Pedersen is trying to keep Valentin Klus at bay as Valentin Klus tries to go up the inside. But then Mikkel Pedersen keeps the power through the corner around the outside of the 201. But then Valentin Klus gets a better run coming out of the corner and going in towards the inside, going up the inside of Pedersen to take third place as Morris Schmeitz nearly loses out on second. But then Pedersen back past Klus through into the final corner. But Magnus Pedersen is probably rubbing his hands with glee coming across the start-finish line. The gap now between first and second is a whopping 2.5 seconds at the minute as Mikkel Pedersen goes up the inside of Morris Schmeitz. And then I think Valentin Klus has also got through in the process and it's actually got past the 252. So Schmeitz having a bit of drama, trying to put the power down through turns 2 and 3. Couldn't get the traction down as Valentin Klus comes out of the left-right chicane off of the infield and nearly loses the back end after the front end hits the curbs. But Magnus Pedersen starting to lead and is trying to pull away. As now Schmeitz trying to go side by side with Mikkel Pedersen and slingshots past on the exit out of the final chicane and gets the move done. But then Mikkel Pedersen might have a better run coming out of the final corner, but that's dependent if there was going to be dramas for Morris Schmeitz. But Schmeitz gets the power down through the penultimate corner. So at the moment it is a 1-2 at the moment for RS competition, with Magnus Pedersen leading, Valentin Klus in second. Gap now 2.864 seconds between the two leaders. Morris Schmeitz in third, Mikkel Pedersen, Nevio Fischer, Raphael Renhofer, Raphael Balzer in the 217 now up into 7th place as Mikkel Pedersen getting very aggressive with the curbs there. So effectively it's now a top 3 for RS competition with JJ Racing in 4th place. And now Nevio Fischer trying to close in on the 210. But Morris Schmeitz has other ideas, trying to go up the inside through the exit of the chicane. And we had now a 5-second pushing penalty handed to Kian Agasade in the 262. Probably on that first lap incident. 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Plus a lap, Magnus Pedersen leads. As Valentin Klus has put in the fastest lap of the race and has gone just over 4/10 quicker than the leader. A 1 minute 6.182. Mikkel Pedersen a further 3.5 seconds adrift in third place. Morris Schmeitz is ahead of Nevio Fischer, Raphael Renhofer, Raphael Balzer, Lewis Jacobs, Farin Mega now having started from 16th position on the grid, now up into 9th place. Din Jurich now up into 10th ahead of Nikita Genza, Kian Agasade. We've got Leon Arndt, Janis Stiak, Kobe Hillebrands and Richard Thomas rounding out the 16 strong who are still circulating as the 228 of Lewis Jacobs gets up the inside of Rafael Balza, as does Fahen Mega. So the 2:17 now drops down to 9th position. A couple of places dropped in a couple of corners. As now, I see that Morris Schmeis is trying to close up onto Mikkel Pedersen through the penultimate corner. So Magnus Pedersen still continuing to lead ahead of Valentin Klus, who again goes 0.553 seconds quicker and drops the gap down to 1.886. Mikkel Pedersen in third. Morris Schmeis, Neville Fischer, Rafael Henhofer, Fahen Mega, Luis Jacobs, Rafael Balza, and now Nikita Genza, who's recovering. Well, he's actually... Genza's got past Balza and now has Fahen Mega in the crosshairs. As it is definitely a game of toing and froing between Rafael Balza and Nikita Genza, who are trying to swapping positions, as Morris Schmeis again gets a good... Oh, bit of a hit from behind for Mikkel Pedersen, as Morris Schmeis trying accelerating out of the final chicane and trying to go up towards the inside, but had nowhere but front bumper hitting rear bumper in front of him. Magnus Pedersen still leading from Valentin Klus. The gap is now 1.7 seconds as Valentin Klus is close to breaking the 1:06 lap time barrier. Morris Schmeis still trying to close on Mikkel Pedersen, and the gap now between them just under 4/10. Nikita Genza now up into 8th place and is trying to battle away with Fahen Mega, who looks to be a little bit further up the road. Luis Jacobs and Rafael Balza now round out the top 10. As Richard Thomas now has now crossed the line. We're now on to lap number 7 of this Junior Rotax race, and we still have just under 3 minutes and 25 seconds on the clock remaining. This will be giving a bit of time and an opportunity here for Morris Schmeis to see if the gap to Mikkel Pedersen in 3rd position can be closed, as the 2 leaders have now crossed the start-finish line. Gap now down to 1.263 seconds. Valentin Klus, a 1:06.506. Magnus Pedersen, a 1:06.945. So Klus is quite clearly the quicker driver. Mikkel Pedersen still trying to fend off the unwelcome advances of Morris Schmeis. So the JJ Racing driver looking to make good the intentions of trying to get past. But with the previous effort through the final chicane on the last lap, Schering was not able to get past, but gets very up close and personal. And this time, before they got to the chicane, Morris Schmeis goes up the inside of Mikkel Pedersen for P3 and makes the move stick before the chicane is even encountered. So let's have a look at the leaders. Top 2 were 1.2 seconds adrift of each other. Again, Valentin Klus goes quicker by 0.219 of a second. 221. Drops the gap to just over a second. Morris Schmeis now trying to get away from Mikkel Pedersen, but the Dane in the 252 not allowing the German to breathe. And then a little bit further behind, Neville Fischer is leading the way in 5th place, as Fahen Mega and Nikita Genza are battling away over 7th position. And it looks like Nikita Genza has the advantage for the minute, as now the gap has really come down between the 2 leaders. Magnus Pedersen, the gap was a second last time around, but the way that Valentin Klus has just kept on pushing forward, that gap has been absolutely decimated. They now come round the final corner. Gap was 1.042 seconds. 0.4. That is incredible performance there by Valentin Klus to keep a little bit in reserve. And now Magnus Pedersen will feel the heat on the back of the collar because of the fact that Pedersen will be able to sense that Valentin Klus is closing, and closing rather rapidly. 35 seconds on the clock plus an additional lap. Pedersen, oh my goodness, gets a bit slow out of the corner, and Valentin Klus just shot up the inside rather quickly and gets the lead. So it looked like Magnus Pedersen was trying to get traction, and Valentin Klus just saw an opening and just went for it and managed to get past without being obstructed or having any potential collision with his teammates at RS Competition as they now come through the final couple of corners. Last lap board is out. So Valentin Klus has just under 1,300 meters to negotiate. Maurice Schmeis now has a bit of daylight, well, a considerable bit of daylight of about 9.5 tenths of a second at the end of the tunnel between himself and Mikkel Pedersen as they round out the top four. Nikita Genza, despite the first main corner incident on lap 1, has managed to get back up to 5th position. So Genza on that Sodi kart chassis having a lot of pace. Nevio Fischer in 6th, Farin Mega in 7th, Raphael Henhofer now in 8th place. Kian Agasade, who will receive a 5-second penalty post-race for pushing, up into 9th place. Luis Jacobs and Rafael Balza ran out the top 10 ahead of Janis Steauk, Leon Arndt, as there is a little bit of a drama there as one of the karts. But now the checkered flag will wave. This time it will wave not for Nikita Genza, it will be Valentin Klus. One hand in the air celebrating with the finger as Magnus Pedersen goes across the line in 2nd place. Maurice Schmeis from JJ Racing takes 3rd. Ahead of Mikkel Pedersen in 4th with Nikita Genza closing hand over fist over the last few laps and put in the fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 5.790. Farin Mega started 16th and finished in 6th ahead of Nevio Fischer. Raphael Henhofer, Kian Agasade, who now drops behind Luis Jacobs as a result of the 5-second pushing penalty. In 10th place, Rafael Balza in 11th. Janis Steauk, Leon Arndt, Din Jurich, Corbin Hillebrands and Richard Thomas all finished the race with Hillebrands and Thomas, well, Hillebrands on the same lap as the leaders with Thomas a lap adrift.